On the eve of the engagement banquet 5 years ago, my fiancée believed the malicious whispers of her male best friend. She decided I wasn't mature or steady enough and chose to go abroad to develop her family's business. Before leaving, she handed me an agreement, speaking with a reluctant, lingering tone. Haoxuan, wait for me for 5 years. In 5 years, I'll come back and marry you. I said nothing, just quietly watched as she and her male best friend walked into the security checkpoint. The moment the plane took off, I cured myself of my love-struck foolishness.
Su Haoxuan, I can't believe after 5 years you still haven't grown up at all.
Wait, another 5 years for Yueru.
Chen Yuan said with a condescending tone. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Yuexin pulled out an agreement identical to the one from 5 years ago. I didn't reach out to take it. Instead, I turned to look at Lin Yuexin and asked, "Are you serious?" Lin Yuexin glanced at Chen Yuan, then smiled at me and said, "Haoxuan, I think a Yuan has a point. Just wait another 5 years for me." Hez only looking out for my best interests. As expected, she still believed in her so-called male best friend without question. The look she gave him was the same look I once received, but now her eyes were full of nothing but her male best friend. I smiled too.
People's hearts truly are fickle.
If I hadn't given up hope when she went abroad 5 years ago, I would be the biggest fool on earth right now. Thankfully, I came to my senses. As a rich second-generation heir, being a simp is just too degrading.
Su Haoxuan, what are you laughing at?
Sign it now.
Chen Yuan wore a disdainful smirk and urged me in a commanding tone. If someone didn't know the situation, they'd think he was my boss.
I ignored the agreement Lin Yuexin was holding out, my icy gaze fixed on Chen Yuan.
Who the hell do you think you are?
How dare you order me around?
After saying that, I didn't look at Chen Yuan's face, which had flushed a furious shade of purple. I turned back to Lin Yuexin and asked, "Lin Yuexin, you made me wait 5 years, and this is the result? Even a lowly, illegitimate son, who isn't fit for public view, dares to shout at me?" My assertive attitude was beyond anything Lin Yueru had anticipated. Her expression stiffened slightly, seemingly shocked by my transformation. Everyone in the banquet hall turned their eyes to Lin Yuexin, curious to see how she would respond. Lin Yuexin's expression quickly returned to normal, her tone turning nonchalant.
A Yuan and I grew up together.
For the past 5 years abroad, he's been the one taking care of me.
Everything he does is for my own good.
It's just asking you to wait another 5 years? Why are you being so harsh? Everyone around was stunned by her shameless reasoning. 5 years, spent waiting for an uncertain outcome. How many 5-year spans does a person even have in a lifetime? My heart felt nothing at all. I just felt sorry for my younger self. To have actually been in love with someone like this. 5 years ago at the airport, she said she'd come back in 5 years and marry me. The first thing she did upon returning 5 years later was ask me to wait another 5 years. I hadn't even planned on attending this banquet today. But I still wanted to see the girl from my youthful memories. The one with the ponytail and the cute dimples when she smiled. To draw a final line under the turbulent passion of my youth. But the Lin Yuexin in front of me was utterly unrecognizable. The girl who was once so considerate, pure, and lovely had become so frivolous and worldly. Lin Yuexin, 5 years ago you chose to believe this animal, and 5 years later, you haven't changed a bit. Su Haoxuan, a Yuan and I grew up together. How can you curse at him like that? Apologize to a Yuan right now or I won't forgive you.
Apologize?
Lin Yuexin must be out of her mind. 5 years ago, I had already decided I didn't want her anymore.
What meaning does her forgiveness have for me?
Let her and her male best friend just lock each other down for good. Save them from being unleashed to wreak havoc on others. Lin Yuexin, then you and your dear best friend just lock it up and stay together.
Don't appear in front of me and disgust me anymore.
With that, I turned to leave. But Chen Yuan jumped out at that moment, face contorted with fury. Su Haoxuan, a girl as outstanding as Xingxin has plenty of suitors. If you don't appreciate her, plenty of others will. Kneel down now and apologize to Xingxin, and I might persuade her to forgive you. He thought I would still be as infatuated with Lin Yuexin as I was 5 years ago, tolerating him at every turn. But I did what I had wanted to do 5 years ago. Slap, my palm landed squarely on his face. The thunderous crack echoed throughout the entire banquet hall. Those who appreciate her include you, right? That's why you constantly sowed discord between us.
Su Haoxuan, you?
You dare hit me? Chen Yuan screamed hysterically, his fists clenched so tight his knuckles cracked, looking like he wanted to murder me. Lin Yuexin shoved me hard. Seeing the clear handprint on Chen Yuan's face, she erupted with fury. Su Haoxuan, hitting a yuan is like slapping my face. I order you to kneel down and apologize to a yuan immediately. She unleashed her full commanding aura. Everyone in the hall held their breath. The corner of Chen Yuan's mouth curled up, as if he was already picturing my pathetic state, kneeling and apologizing. But I couldn't help laughing. Lin Yuexin, has your brain been kicked by a donkey?
You want me, the rightful heir of the Su family, to kneel and apologize to an illegitimate son?
Is he even worthy?
It seems these 5 years have made you forget what the Su family is capable of.
Lin Yuexin's gaze flickered, her tone softening. Haoxuan, everything a yuan does is for my own good. It was wrong of him to have a bad tone.
But you still can't hit him.
Just apologize to him, just enough to let me save face.
I scoffed. Save face for you?
What about my face?
Her dignity slighted again. Lin Yuexin's expression turned grim. Su Haoxuan, how did you become like this? Seems like not getting engaged to you 5 years ago was the right choice.
You still haven't learned to be mature and steady.
If you keep this up, I'll never forgive you. Even now, she naively thought I was still the fool from 5 years ago who loved her more than life itself, never daring to defy her commands. Any time I upset her, she'd give me the silent treatment, and I would immediately scamper after her like a puppy, carefully apologizing.
Mature.
Steady?
Your idea of maturity and steadiness is that no matter what he did to me, I couldn't say a single harsh word?
My eyes glared at Lin Yuexin furiously. Back then, when he had an asthma attack, if I hadn't found him in time and contacted a doctor to save his miserable life, the weeds on his grave would be taller than a man by now.
And how did he repay me?
He slipped laxatives into my food, nearly causing me to die from dehydration. After I finished speaking, the people around me all cast contemptuous looks at Chen Yuan. Ever since Chen Yuan appeared between Lin Yuexin and me, it was constant slander, sowing discord, framing me for things. Behind Lin Yuexin's back, he did far too many shady things.
Only a fool like Lin Yuexin would see this scheming man as a pure, kind-hearted boy next door.
Seeing this, Chen Yuan immediately put on that sickening, pitiful act again. Master Su, don't blame Shinsin.
Every wrong is my wrong.
Every fault is my fault.
I owe you a life.
I'll return it to you now. As he finished, he charged headfirst towards a pillar.
But nobody failed to see through that phony performance.
Yet Lin Yuexin fell for it completely. As Chen Yuan lay on the ground, she immediately ran over to help him up, pressing her hand against the wound on his forehead. She looked at me with fury. This holier-than-thou attitude of holding past favors over others truly disgusts me. If anything serious happens to a yuan, I won't let this go. With that, she used her slender shoulders to support Chen Yuan and left the venue. Just as Chen Yuan was about to leave, he glanced back. His eyes were filled with mockery, the look of a victor, as if saying, even if you do 1,000 times more, in Lin Xinyi's heart, I'm still far more important than you. The main character's gone. The surrounding guests also dispersed in 2s and 3s. Only the looks they cast my way carried a hint of schadenfreude. The dignified young Master Su, watching helplessly as his own fiancée defended another man at every turn. I could already imagine that tomorrow, this incident would become the talk of everyone in our social circle. But I felt not a trace of anger, only amusement.
When Lin Xinyi finally discovers Chen Yuan's true face, I wonder if she'll still be able to smile.
5 years. While she was busy being intimate with Chen Yuan, I, her actual boyfriend, hadn't received a single phone call of concern from her. At this moment, I felt grateful that 5 years ago I chose to let go.
My phone suddenly rang.
I saw the caller ID display the word wife.
All the negative emotions in my heart instantly dissipated.
Hello.
Honey, how was the gathering today?
Ha.
I watched Lin Xinyi and Chen Yuan put on a touching show of deep affection and undying loyalty for me.
What? Are you still not over her?
Wife, heaven and earth bear witness. My heart only has you and our 2 little ones now.
Lin Xinyi is nothing but the past to me.
I just never imagined the girl who used to follow behind me back then would turn into what she is now. Honey, people's hearts change. All we can do is keep our own hearts kind.
Yes, people's hearts change.
All right, honey, let's not talk about those unhappy things.
When are you coming back?
The babies miss you. Things at the company here will probably take another week or so to wrap up. Then finish up quickly and come home.
We'll be waiting for you.
Love you, wife.
Love you, husband.
After hanging up, a happy smile spread across my face. Walking out of the hotel, the last trace of sentiment for Lin Yuexin in my heart completely vanished. Of course, this sentiment wasn't about romantic love, but the fondness for something beautiful from my youth. President Su. A call from Chairman Su.
My assistant jogged up to me, handing me the phone.
Haoxuan, why couldn't I get through just now?
My father asked. I was just on the phone with Xiaoro. I heard things got unpleasant between you and Lin Yuexin.
Yeah, she was still playing me for a fool.
I replied, my tone calm.
You were desperately in love back then. Of course she played you for a fool.
What's strange about that?
Dad, you really have a way with words.
Get lost, you brat.
You're a married man with kids now. If you dare do anything to wrong Xiaoro, it'll break your legs.
Dad, do I really seem like I have no bottom line in your eyes?
You're talking to me about bottom lines?
Considering all the pathetic things you did for Lin Xinyi back then, did you act like someone with a bottom line? I was young back then. Now I've woken up. I won't be foolish again.
That better be true?
All these years outsiders still think the Lin and Su families are in-laws. It's time to let the news spread.
Fine. I won't have any dealings with the Song family from now on either.
Now that sounds a bit more like an heir to the Su family. Also, don't forget what I told you. Take some time these next few days to visit your Uncle Gu in the hospital. He helped you a lot back then.
I know.
I'll go to the hospital tomorrow morning to see him. After my father finished, he hung up. Honestly, I couldn't blame my father for thinking that way. It was entirely because my past self had engaged in far too much simping behavior. Back then, if Lin Xinyi had asked me to go buy condoms for her and Chen Yuan, I probably would have eagerly bought them and delivered them to her personally. As long as she was happy, I was willing to suffer any grievance. Looking back now, it's as if my former self had been under some kind of spell. I shook my head, casting away these distracting thoughts, and got into the car to leave the hotel. Back at the company, I began handling the work at hand. The company here in Yun City was being dissolved. I was busy with the final liquidation procedures. During this period, I had been running off my feet. If Lin Yuexin hadn't called me last night saying she was back, I would have almost forgotten the person entirely. I hadn't planned on attending today's banquet, but after talking with my wife, I felt it was necessary to have a clear talk with Lin Yuexin, to let her go pursue her own happiness, that I wouldn't cling to her anymore. The love I felt back then was real, and the absence of love now is also real. It's neither about love nor hate.
No one can guarantee a lifetime of loving only one person, free from desire or expectation.
I had already let go of all feelings for her, but in my heart I also hoped the girl I liked in my reckless youth could find a happy ending. Yet the scenes at the banquet made all my thoughts and hopes seem like a joke. This kind of selfish, self-centered woman simply didn't deserve happiness. So when my father wanted to draw a clear line with the Song family, I didn't object. I was deep in thought when the office door was violently kicked open. My assistant said anxiously, "President Su, I'm sorry, I couldn't stop him." After seeing clearly who it was, I said nothing, just waved my hand for him to leave. Once the door was closed properly, Lin Zhenbang sat down opposite me, fuming. I thought he had come to apologize. I never expected his opening words would be an angry accusation. Su Haoxuan,
Xinshin just asked you to wait another 5 years.
How could you not give her any face in front of so many people?
Isn't a girl as outstanding as Xingchen worth your weight?
I drained the last of my coffee and asked, tone flat, "Is that the main point here?"
What's that supposed to mean?
Lin Zhenbang frowned, clearly unaware of everything that had happened in the banquet hall. "You should go ask your precious daughter what she did." I couldn't help but sneer.
No matter what Xinshin did, you still can't humiliate her like that.
When she called me, she was crying terribly. Lin Zhenbang's tone had clearly softened considerably, probably realizing Lin Xinyi had hidden a lot from him. Uncle Lin, when Lin Yuexin went abroad 5 years ago, Chen Yuan was already by her side. 5 years have passed, and Chen Yuan is still by her side. Because of Lin Yuexin's constant protection, an illegitimate son like Chen Yuan dares to order me around. Do you people really think my status as the Su family heir is just for show? You made me wait 5 years, and the first thing you say when we meet is to wait another 5 years. Do you take me for a monkey to be toyed with? Lin Yuexin keeps saying a Yuan is doing it for my own good. A Yuan is looking out for me. So what? Was I not good to her? I calmly laid out the whole sequence of events one by one. After I finished, I expected Lin Zhenbang to leave in shame. Instead, Lin Zhenbang's expression shifted from initial surprise to anger. Su Haoxuan, a Yuan and Xinshin grew up together.
Their relationship is purely platonic.
Everything he does is for Xinshin's own good. Over such a trivial matter, Did you really have to take it that far? Not giving us any face at all. His words made me laugh.
Like father, like daughter.
The exact same disgusting attitude.
Truly nauseating. I stood up, my eyes boring into Lin Zhenbang.
I give you face, but where does my face go?
Lin Zhenbang snorted disdainfully.
What face do you need?
Isn't it enough that Jinsen is willing to marry you? If you truly loved Xingxin, let alone 5 years, even 10 years would be fine. I'll arrange a press conference tomorrow. You will apologize to Xingxin and Yuan in front of the media. The Su family today isn't the Su family of 5 years ago. Don't force my hand. Over these years, the Lin group had grown increasingly powerful by leveraging its relationship with the Su family. Meanwhile, our family had begun shifting behind the scenes, continuously selling off visible assets. This gave Lin Zhenbang the illusion that the Su family was in its twilight, while the Lin family was on the rise. He genuinely believed the Lin family's current success was due to his brilliant leadership.
When words are wasted, conversation ends.
I no longer wanted to deal with Lin Zhenbang.
Someone see the guest out.
I shouted loudly towards the door. Lin Zhenbang was so angry his breathing became ragged, but I paid him no mind. Lin Zhenbang was pushed and dragged out by my assistant. The office instantly returned to silence. My phone suddenly buzzed. I saw a message from Lin Yuexin. Haoxuan, a Yuan is seriously injured. Come to the hospital now and apologize to him, and I will forgive you. But just this once. If you do this again next time, I won't forgive you. I realized I had forgotten to block Lin Xingyi. I immediately added her to the blacklist. The next day, I arrived at the hospital early with gifts. Uncle Gu is my father's old comrade in arms.
Hez also a senior I deeply respect.
The next few days would be hectic, so I decided to fulfill my father's important request first. But enemies are bound to cross paths. Before I even found my father's old comrade, I unexpectedly ran into Lin Yuexin, who was taking care of Chen Yuan. Seeing the items in my hands, Lin Yuexin looked very satisfied. Haoxuan, I knew deep down you still love me.
A Yuan just woke up.
You should go and apologize to him now. As she spoke, she reached out to take the gifts from my hand.
I noticed the hickeys on her neck and dodged her outstretched hand.
Haoxuan, what's the meaning of this?
My action surprised her. She questioned me. Miss Lin, perhaps you should clean up those marks on your neck. People might see them and think you're a loose woman.
I pointed at Lin Yuexin as I spoke.
Exposed by my words, Lin Yuexin became angry out of embarrassment.
And whose fault is that?
If you hadn't hit a Yuan yesterday, why would I have let him kiss me? I was stunned by her absurd logic. How brainless does one have to be to utter such words? Miss Lin, by that reasoning, if I beat Chen Yuan up again, will you have to sleep with him to apologize on my behalf? Su Haoxuan, you bastard. In your heart, am I really that promiscuous? Oh, aren't you? With that, I ignored her and prepared to visit the patient. Behind me came Lin Yuexin's furious voice. Su Haoxuan, I will never forgive you. I only found it ridiculous inside, and at the same time I felt relief. If I hadn't let go 5 years ago, what would be planted firmly on my head right now would be a bright green cuckold's hat. I chatted with Uncle Gu for a while, also talking about family matters. Uncle Gu held my hand, smiling happily.
Haoxuan, seeing you now truly makes me happy for your father.
Old Su has a fine son.
But young man, don't you dare backtrack.
That Lin Yuexin girl isn't a good match.
If you do anything to wrong Zero, I'll personally come and slap you then. Uncle Gus' words left me silent. So all the elders had already seen Lin Yuexin's true nature. Only I, deeply infatuated back then, foolishly believed she was the best person in the world. Uncle Gu, don't worry.
My life is very happy now.
I won't do anything foolish.
Uncle Gu was the president of our university.
He knew very well all the absurd things I did chasing Lin Yuexin in college. The first day of university, Lin Yuexin wore a long white dress, her hair in a ponytail. Her hand pulled an enormous suitcase. Her face bore that unique smile of youthful innocence, pure and beautiful, and I saw her the moment I looked up after finishing my registration.
Just one glance, and I was utterly captivated.
I eagerly ran over to help her pull her suitcase, wanting to get close to her. But a young girl's reserve kept her attitude lukewarm towards me. From that day on, I began pursuing her like mad. Sending her flowers, bringing her bubble tea were basic daily operations. Since we were in different majors, I followed her everywhere, attending her major classes. So much so that during my entire first year, I got to know all her professors. Yet I didn't recognize a single professor from my own major. My major courses, predictably, all blazed with failing grades. The professors and counselors from every department complained to the president. strongly demanding my expulsion. Uncle Gu personally called me to his office and spent an entire afternoon earnestly advising me. Only then did I resume a normal university life. During this time, my relationship with Lin Yuexin became somewhat like friends. But my repeated confessions were still rejected by her. I had been a rich kid since childhood, used to getting whatever I wanted. Meeting a wall with Lin Yuexin actually ignited my competitive spirit. I was determined to win her over, to marry her.
Sophomore year, I saw someone setting up candles downstairs at the girls' dormitory for a confession.
I thought it was a good idea. I hired a truck and loaded it with a full load of candles and flowers. The ground floor of Lin Yuexin's dorm building was completely covered in candles by me. Flowers blanketed the open space in front of the building. The female students watching from the side all had stars in their eyes. This scene made me think this confession was in the bag. What girl doesn't like this kind of romance? With a megaphone, I shouted with full confidence towards the upstairs, "Lin Yuexin, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" But as soon as my words fell, before I got any response from Lin Yuexin, a sudden demonic gust of wind blew. The candles ignited the dry grass in the adjacent garden.
The fire spread instantly.
I was terrified, completely forgetting about the confession. I rushed to put out the fire. Luckily, the garden wasn't very large, and the fire was successfully extinguished. But the school also notified my parents. Father ultimately paid for the school's damages, which saved me from expulsion.
The result?
The confession failed, and I was beaten so badly by my dad that I lay in bed for half a month. When I returned to school, I became a household name on campus.
Nicknamed the warrior of true love.
My youthful vanity was greatly satisfied. I was still fantasizing about Lin Yuexin saying yes to my confession. But when I appeared in front of Lin Yuexin, she didn't greet me as familiarly as before, but deliberately avoided me. I racked my brains, unable to figure out why. Later, I treated her dorm mates to several meals before I understood that the last incident had also made Song Yuexin famously known. But girls are thin-skinned. She felt my actions made her lose face, turning her into a topic of gossip. Realizing this, I humbly apologized to her.
Yuexin, I'm sorry.
The last time, I didn't think things through. I promise I won't do anything that embarrasses you like that again. Please forgive me. When you ignore me, I can't eat, can't sleep. I just think about you all day. My bluntness overwhelmed Lin Yuexin. My words made her little face flush bright red. Even her earlobes turned red, and her speech became a bit stuttery. Su Haoxuan,
I'll forgive you this time.
In the future, don't be so impulsive and reckless. Hearing her forgive me, I was so excited I wanted to scoop her up in my arms, but the last shred of reason prevented me from making any move. I could only awkwardly scratch my head.
Yuexin, don't worry.
I'll listen to you from now on.
I heard your dad hit you.
Are you better now?
It's nothing. I'm thick-skinned and tough.
Already recovered.
That incident seemed to bring our relationship a little closer. I continued pursuing her, following her every day to the library to read and study. I don't know where I found the motivation back then, but I stayed by her side, rain or shine.
Friends around me said I was like a completely different person.
But before, I had no one I liked. Lin Yuexin's smile was all the motivation I needed. Persistence wears down the hardest stone. Under my relentless pursuit, in our junior year, Lin Yuexin and I got together. At that time, I felt I was the happiest person in the world. We spent the beautiful final 2 years of campus life together. Campus love is beautiful, precisely because it doesn't involve too many material interests. That kind of affection is pure and intense. During that period, Lin Zhenbang also relocated his small family factory to Yun City. I begged my father to secretly give him a bit of help. My father was unwilling. It was only after I pestered my mother for a long time that my father reluctantly agreed. Lin Zhenbang was also a capable man. In just a few short years, he grew that small workshop into the current Lin Group Corporation. Lin Yuexin also stayed in Yun City after graduation to develop her career. She went to work at her family's company, starting to learn business management. I was unwilling to get involved in my own family's business affairs and refused my father's arrangements. I went to the Lin Group with Lin Yuexin. For the first 2 years, we were both entry-level employees. Our relationship didn't change. But as Lin Yuexin got promoted, she came into contact with more and more outstanding people. Arguments began to arise between us, but those were common occurrences between couples. It wasn't until Chen Yuan appeared that our conflicts escalated drastically. I was unhappy about the boundaryless interactions between her and Chen Yuan. She would always say, "Chen Yuan and I grew up together. If I liked him, we would have been together long ago."
Can you stop being so petty?
Her words even made me reflect, wondering if I was just being too sensitive. Time after time, I lied to myself, saying Lin Yuexin loved me.
She just saw Chen Yuan as a friend.
Tell a lie enough times, and you start believing it yourself. Later, when Lin Zhenbang learned of my family background, he constantly mentioned wanting to meet my father. Eventually, both sets of parents met and set the date for our wedding. I secretly rejoiced, my long-held wish finally about to come true. Excitedly, I spun her around in my arms. My father actually wasn't satisfied with Lin Yuexin in his heart, but for my sake, he agreed to the marriage. At that time, I was completely immersed in the sweet bliss of passionate love. I personally handled all the preparations for the engagement banquet, to give her a grand and beautiful ceremony, to leave a precious memory for our lives. But while I was busy, Chen Yuan was also busy. Ever since he became Lin Yuexin's assistant, he was constantly fawning over her, acting more like a boyfriend than her actual boyfriend, did. I warned him more than once, but he would immediately tattle to Lin Yuexin, causing our relationship to worsen day by day. Until the eve of the engagement banquet, I saw Chen Yuan's arm draped over Lin Yuexin's shoulder. I could no longer suppress the fury inside me and rushed over, shoving Chen Yuan to the ground. Seeing this, Lin Yuexin argued fiercely with me. It was the most severe argument we'd ever had since we met. The consequence, on the eve of the engagement banquet, Lin Yuexin chose to go abroad, and I also chose to let go. A woman without a sense of boundaries, I decided was not a suitable lifelong partner. From then on, I never received any news from Lin Yuexin again, until she contacted me upon returning to the country this time. I had planned to meet, make things clear, and part on good terms. I never expected the opening scene to unfold as it did. Leaving Uncle Gus Ward, the scenes of our time together flashed through my mind. I smiled bitterly, shaking my head to toss them out. But as I passed by a ward door, I heard Lin Yuexin's familiar voice coming from inside. Yuan, don't move around, watch the IV needle. I looked through the crack of the door and saw Chen Yuan tightly holding Lin Yuexin with his left arm.
Xinshin, didn't you say my abs blow Su Haoxuans out of the water by like 18 streets?
Touch them.
Chen Yuan pulled Lin Yuexin's hand and placed it on his abs, then pouted playfully. Xinshin, I want you. Ever since we got back to the country, you haven't let me touch you. With those words, he couldn't wait and started kissing Lin Yuexin. Lin Yuexin only offered a token resistance before sinking recklessly into the passion. Seeing this scene, my heart felt no ripple whatsoever. I was just glad I chose to let go back then. Otherwise, seeing this now would have driven me to death with rage. I recorded the unsightly scene inside, planning to show my former cheap father-in-law what a lowlife his precious daughter truly was.
Exiting the hospital, I took out my phone and called my father.
Dad, did you release the news yet? My father replied, I've been so busy here, haven't gotten around to it yet. Then leave it. I'll handle it. What do you plan to do? Since the Lin family grew powerful because of me, I'll be the one to destroy them.
Good.
Then I'll leave it to you. Call me if you run into anything you can't handle. After hanging up with my father, I began to release the news. There will be no further relations between the Su and Lin families. The Su family will never cooperate with any company that works with the Lin family. Originally, for the sake of past fond memories, I didn't want to be so ruthless. If Lin Yuexin had clearly said she no longer loved me, wanted to be with Chen Yuan, I would have sent my blessings. After all, everyone has the right to pursue beautiful things, but to enjoy the thrill of secret trysts with Chen Tian on one hand, and expect me to hover around you like a lovesick puppy on the other, treating me like a fool on a string?
Then I'm sorry.
Since you showed no mercy, don't blame me for being unrighteous. The next day, Lin Yuexin slowly opened her eyes on the hospital bed, feeling completely drained. Recalling last night's events, there was a hint of blush, a racing heart, and the thrill brought by the hospital room setting. Chen Yuan once again pulled Lin Yuexin into his arms, calling emotionally, Xinshin. Lin Yuexin pushed Chen Yuan away and warned him righteously. Last night was the last time. You must not speak of it. If Haoxuan finds out, you know the consequences. Hearing Lin Yuexin's slightly threatening tone, a trace of unwillingness flashed in Chen Yuan's eyes. He pulled Lin Yuexin into his embrace again, his hands roaming wantonly over her skin. Lin Yuexin glared with her beautiful eyes. Yuan, are you crazy? It's daytime, we're in a hospital.
Isn't that even more thrilling?
Chen Yuan leaned in to kiss her without another word. While the two were lost in their passionate affair, the phone on the bedside vibrated, but no one noticed. It wasn't until they were finished that Lin Yuexin picked up her phone. It showed dozens of missed calls, all from her father, Lin Zhenbang. A sense of dread instantly surged in her heart, and she hurriedly called back. As soon as the call connected, Lin Zhenbang's roar erupted.
Lin Yuexin, what are you doing?
Do you know the company is in crisis? Haoxuan issued a boycott order against the company. All our partners have breached their contracts and left. Many scandals we suppressed before are being dug up again. The company is in complete chaos right now.
Get back here immediately!
Lin Yuexin's face was full of disbelief.
Nonchalantly, she said, just because of the banquet hall incident?
Hess so petty. Dad, don't worry. I'll go talk to him. It won't be a big deal. Lin Zhenbang was rendered speechless by his daughter's naivety. Lin Yuexin. Oh, Lin Yuexin, do you really think going to Su Haoxuan at this point will do any good? If he withdraws the boycott now, where does the Su family's face go? I thought after all these years of development, our Lin family had become very strong. But now it seems even if the Su family is in decline, a lean camel is still bigger than a horse.
We were too careless.
Lin Yuexin also realized the severity of the problem and hurriedly started to get out of bed. But Chen Yuan grabbed her hand. She immediately flared up. Piss off.
Don't touch me.
Chen Yuan smiled and said, Xingxin, Su Haoxuan likes you so much.
Whatever you say, hell, definitely do it.
Hez your lapdog.
Lin Yuexin, who had been frantic, calmed down, thinking I would definitely choose to forgive her like before. So, she immediately called me. Hello.
What is it?
Busy all day. I had forgotten to blacklist Lin Yuexin.
Haoxuan.
I drank too much yesterday.
All that was drunken talk.
Don't take it seriously. Hurry and cancel the boycott. I am your fiancé.
We can talk about any issues privately.
Shen Qingning said.
Drunken talk.
When you said those words yesterday, I didn't sense the slightest hint of intoxication from you. With that, I hung up the phone and promptly blocked all her contact methods, a full sweep. Lin Yuexin listened to the dial tone coming from the receiver, completely dumbfounded. She had never imagined I would hang up on her. The confidence Chen Yuan had just given her instantly evaporated, replaced by panic disarray. Chen Yuan noticed the panic in Lin Yuexin's eyes and stroked her smooth back, smiling as he said, Don't worry, Xinshin. Su Haoxuan is just playing hard to get. In a few days, hell definitely comes scampering back to kneel and apologize.
Slap!
Lin Yuexin turned and slapped him, her beautiful eyes blazing with anger. Shut your mouth.
We were supposed to get married when we came back this time.
It was your idea to test him again. If Haoxuan doesn't forgive me this time, you just wait and see. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became, and deep in her eyes was nothing but regret. Chen Yuan, clutching his face, argued Shin.
Shin, I was only thinking of your best interests.
Lin Yuexin's eyes locked dead onto Chen Tian, her voice furious. Chen Yuan, don't think I don't know your little schemes. Everything you do is to make us break up, so you can be with me and get your hands on the entire Lin family fortune. Lin Yuexin saw through everything Chen Yuan did.
She hadn't exposed Chen Tian's true face because she enjoyed the feeling of being courted by two men.
After 5 years with Chen Yuan, she was also getting a little tired of him.
Chen Tian, still refusing to admit defeat, stubbornly insisted, Jin Shin, is this really how you see me?
I stayed by your side because I want you to be happy.
Enough, Chen Yuan.
Do you even believe the words coming out of your own mouth?
The two erupted into a fierce argument. The ward door was kicked open from the outside. Lin Zhenbang strode in. Seeing the scene on the bed, he was so furious, his beard bristled. After Lin Zhenbang turned his back, Lin Yuexin hurriedly put on her clothes. Embarrassed, she quietly explained, Dad, things aren't what you think. Lin Zhenbang turned and slapped her, the force drawing blood from the corner of Lin Yuexin's mouth. Then he gestured to the bodyguards behind him, who dragged Chen Yuan out of bed and gave him a savage beating.
You bastard!
You're the scourge that ruined my Lin family's grand plans.
I'll kill you today.
Lin Zhenbang's furious tone suggested he wanted to tear Chen Yuan apart, limb from limb. Chen Yuan was beaten until he was barely breathing before Lin Yuexin spoke up to stop the bodyguards. Lin Zhenbang also calmed down. The thing had already happened. Beating Chen Yuan to death now wouldn't change anything.
Dad, the overseas branch has developed very well these past few years.
At worst, we abandon the domestic business and the whole family emigrates abroad. Lin Zhenbang thought of his daughter's achievements over the past 5 years. His furrowed brow relaxed slightly. He breathed a little easier. The ward was silent for a moment. Then phone ringtones and vibrations sounded like death knells, incessant. Lin Yuexin glanced at the caller ID and immediately answered. Her assistant frantically reported the situation. President Lin, a huge crisis. Today, investors pulled out. Suppliers breached contracts, employees resigned.
Right now. Am the only one left in the company?
What?
Lin Yuexin's heart, which had just settled slightly, seized up again. Her voice trembled as she asked, "Have you found out the cause?" The assistant relayed the information had gathered. An old client revealed that all the development of our Lin group, both domestic and international, over these years was because of connections with the Su family. They only cooperated with us to get a foothold with the Su family. Hearing this, Lin Zhenbong and Lin Yuexin both slumped to the floor in unison. They had always thought the Lin family's growth was due to their own abilities. To discover there was someone paving the way ahead of them all along. Lin Zhenbang's face was a mask of utter dejection.
It's over. Completely over.
Our Lin family could have clung tightly to the Su family's coattails. Now it's all ruined by you.
Damn it all.
He beat his chest and stamped his feet in anguish, like someone whose lungs had been punctured.
No. I'm going to find Haoxuan.
Even if I have to kneel on the ground and beg him, I'll win him back. Lin Yuexin scrambled up, trembling, muttering continuously to herself.
3 days later,
I had finished handling matters in Yun City and returned to Jing City. I paid no more attention to the Lin family's affairs, just sending an assistant to keep an eye on things.
Just take back what I had given them over these years, that's all.
Otherwise, I wouldn't feel right. When I got home, I saw the two little ones huffing and puffing, racing each other to eat their meal. All my negative emotions were swept away. I changed my shoes, opened my arms wide, and shouted, "Hao hao, xiaoxi, daddy's back." The two little ones, upon seeing me, forgot all about eating. Their little legs pattered swiftly as they ran towards me. With the two little darlings in my arms, my heart was filled with incomparable satisfaction. My wife walked out of the kitchen carrying the freshly cooked dishes. Gently, she said, "When you're not home, they ask every day when you're coming back. Now they finally get to see Daddy." I happily planted a kiss on each of the little ones' faces and said smugly, "Seems like the babies love me a bit more."
All right, don't gloat.
Go wash your hands and eat. During dinner, I recounted everything that happened in Yun City to my wife. After listening, she just shook her head and said, "Disasters from heaven might be endured, but disasters self-inflicted leave no hope." Still, I have to thank her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have met you.
Humph. Now you realize how good your husband is, right?
Gotta be even nicer to me from now on. Daddy is the best.
Good.
You two hurry and eat. Little chatterboxes, always gotta put your 2 cents in. The warm and harmonious family atmosphere always makes you forget all the troubles life throws at you. I'm very grateful that after leaving Lin Yuexin, I met Li Shinro. Her personality is just like her name, gentle, kind, mild-mannered. Though we had an arranged marriage, there were no feelings at first. From meeting to knowing each other, from strangers to deep love, it took us 5 years.
In those 5 years, we never had any real arguments.
Whenever we faced difficulties, we always discussed them together. Both sets of parents watching our harmonious marital relationship blessed us with relief. My father-in-law was also an old comrade of my father's, but the Li family was in politics. So after we married, we didn't make the news public. Only relatives and friends from both families knew we were married. Everyone understood that publicizing the union of the two families would bring many negative repercussions.
That's why, even after 5 years, many people still didn't know I was already married.
But the peace didn't last even 2 days.
Lin Yuexin found where I lived.
I was just preparing to take the kids to the amusement park. As I drove the car from the underground garage to the front door, waiting for Giraud and the others, I saw Lin Yuexin standing at my gate, restlessly pacing in circles. When she saw me, she ran over in a fluster. Haoxuan, sorry. That night, I really did just drink too much. I was talking nonsense. I've already sent Chen Yuan away. He won't affect our relationship as husband and wife. Just forgive me this once, okay? From beginning to end, I've only ever loved you. Lin Yuexin's eyes brimmed with tears as she chattered on incessantly. I was so disgusted I nearly threw up. From her mouth came claims of loving only me, yet she had long since crawled into another man's bed. I narrowed my eyes and warned her, "Lin Yuexin, I stopped loving you the moment you listened to Chen Yuan and went abroad 5 years ago. I'm not interested in whatever dirty business you and Chen Yuan have. Don't appear in front of me again.
Or else, don't blame me for being ruthless."
Lin Yuexin clearly hadn't expected me to be so cold. She thought if she found me and cried a bit, I would soften.
I wasn't interested in worrying about what was going through her mind.
Seeing Giraud come out, leading our 2 children, I got out of the car to open the doors. Lin Yuexin snapped back to reality. Seeing this scene, her voice trembling, she asked, "Haoxuan, who are they?"
I couldn't be bothered to answer her.
I got in the car ready to leave, but Lin Yuexin stood in front of the car, refusing to move, demanding an answer. My wife smiled and said to me, Haoxuan, you better get out and make things clear to her. Save us from her constant entanglements in the future. Swallowing my nausea, I walked up to Lin Yuexin and said expressionlessly, they are my wife and children.
There's your answer.
Now, can you scram?
No, this isn't true.
Haoxuan, how could you marry someone else? I am your fiancé.
Don't give me that.
The engagement banquet 5 years ago never happened. You are not my fiancé. Haoxuan, you took the agreement back then.
You said you would wait 5 years for me?
I took the agreement, yes.
But I didn't sign it.
Make me wait 5 years for you?
Are you even worthy?
Haoxuan, don't talk to me like that. I just listened to Chen Yuan's slander and misunderstood you back then.
No need.
You should just be Chen Yuan's proper fiancé. Just lock it down with him. Don't come out and bring misfortune to others. Haoxuan, I've always seen Chen Yuan as just a friend. There is nothing between us. You have to believe me.
Lin Yuexin, must I spell it out so bluntly?
Can't we leave each other some face?
You say our relationship is improper?
Do you have proof? Lin Yuexin, you're really asking for it, aren't you? Then look at the people in this video.
Do they look familiar?
With that, I showed her the video ID recorded at the hospital. All words are weak and pale in front of solid evidence. Lin Yuexin still wanted to argue, but seeing my hardened expression, she couldn't utter a single word and just collapsed to the ground in a heap. I warned Lin Yuexin, do not appear before me again. I have taken back what I gave the Lin family.
Now, we are even.
With that, I turned, got in the car, and left. Behind me lay everything that is the source of my happiness. A rotten person like Lin Yuexin. It's best to stay far away. Since then, Lin Yuexin never appeared before me again. Not until I saw a news report, Lin Zhenbang couldn't bear the shock of the company's bankruptcy and jumped to his death. Lin Yuexin poured all her rage and resentment onto Chen Yuan. Chen Yuan, seizing a moment of Lin Yuexin's carelessness, colluded with the Lin family's competitors and made off with all the remaining assets of the Lin family. But he didn't get far before Lin Yuexin found him and tortured him to death. Lin Yuexin was also arrested and imprisoned. Awaiting her is the death penalty. I wasn't surprised by this outcome. After all, it's easy to go from frugality to luxury, hard to go from luxury to frugality. Who could have imagined that the simple, kind little girl I first met years ago would turn into this? A wave of melancholy washed over my heart. After all, she was someone I once loved with all my life. I hope in her next life, she learns how to love someone. Before Lin Yuexin's execution, she requested to see me multiple times. I ignored them all, instead taking my wife and children on a trip abroad. Some people are only destined to walk with you for a stretch of the road. Look ahead, don't turn back.